Hey, what's up everybody? Sleefail is here. Thanks again for watching and welcome to my new subscribers. If you're new to my channel, I'm trying to bring you cryptocurrency news in the entertainment kind of way, so it's easy for you to digest. So today, I have an interview with Julian Hosp, one of the co-founders of TenX. So, what is TenX? Well, you will see here in this interview, because you will know all the ins and outs about TenX. And no, it's not just another crypto debit card like the others. So in what areas does TenX then differentiate from the competition? Well, that's actually a good question. So let's see if Julian can answer this question. So tomorrow, the token sale of TenX will start. But what is actually the added value for us then as a token holder? Might you invest in TenX? I don't know. But you will know in the next 30 minutes. So let's go! So, as indicated earlier in my introduction, I have a special guest today for you guys, Mr. Julian Hosp. Welcome.
Levi, it's such a pleasure to be on.
Yes, I'm very honorable to have you in my show actually. So, how do you feel about tomorrow? Because tomorrow will be the big token sale. Are you excited?
Super excited. But I mean, so I feel we're really well prepared. We've done a lot of work over the past weeks. So of course we are excited. The good thing is we're not nervous. We're really excited. Everything looks really well. We've run through everything. So yeah, good. We're really set to go. We can't wait.
I can imagine. Okay, so can you do a short introduction about yourself, a little career background, so that my viewers also know who you are?
Sure. So my name is Julian Hosp. I'm from Austria originally, from Innsbruck. Maybe someone has been skiing there. We have a lot of people always there skiing from all over the world. I grew up there and I have a totally different background than what I do today. I was a professional kite surfer for 10 years. I was in Holland a lot to kite surf. I love Holland. So it's really beautiful. Yes, really. And I studied medicine. So I worked as a medical doctor in Innsbruck. I was a surgeon, a trauma surgeon. And after 1.5 years, my past of being free as a traveler, as a kite surfer kind of caught up to me. And I said, okay, if I keep working as a medical doctor, it's just not going to fulfill me in life. And so after 1.5 years working, I quit and I moved to Asia to start my own business. Initially, I was in Hong Kong. I moved there 2012. Yeah. And I had heard about Bitcoin in 2011 already. A patient of mine actually told me about Bitcoin. But I didn't really believe in the system much, or I had some concerns with it not being legit. And so I stayed on the sidelines. I was really fascinated with the technology, but I stayed on the sidelines. And I just always watched a bit. And of course, I saw this price going up and I saw it from $1. So the first time I saw it was $1 and I saw it go up to 1,200, crash down to 200. And in end of 2014, I met my co-founder today, Toby, in Bangkok, and he's also from Austria, and that's how we met. I see. And he said that he was looking into starting a Bitcoin company. And I said, whoa, Bitcoin company? Well, I'm not sure. This thing is not really usable. And we said, hey, if you can make Bitcoins usable, then this would be very, very powerful. And so back then in 2015, then we started a company called 1Bit. And the idea was to have a debit card that people could use to spend their Bitcoin. And so we started working with this, and then around a year after we had started it and we had actually implemented everything, we realized that if we only focused on Bitcoin, it would be not enough. There was so more other blockchain assets coming in, because this was the time when Ethereum got stronger, when suddenly there were really other things popping up. And so we said, hey, we can't think one bit at a time. We can't grow one bit at a time. Yeah. We have to grow 10x. We have to scale everything. And so that's why in 2016, we rebranded our company from 1Bit to 10x. And today at 10x, we make any blockchain asset instantly spendable. We have a debit card that people can use to really spend their Ether, Dash, Bitcoin, and so on. And we have a really powerful backend where you can actually connect all these blockchains into it. And so that's what we're doing. Our company is based in Singapore, and we've been doing this for the past 2 years.
And is there a particular reason that you guys are located in the Asia Pacific region?
So basically, when we started our company, I was already in Hong Kong. Toby had been in Tokyo before, and he was just transitioning. For us to start a crypto company, there were very few locations that came in mind. It was maybe to go to Zurich That would have been, or Switzerland in general. We definitely didn't want to go to the US because even today the US is not as friendly towards cryptocurrencies as you might think.
True.
And so at the end of the day, there was two options. It was either be in Hong Kong or go to Singapore. Both cities very, very open to crypto, very, very open to innovation. And I mean, back then we didn't notice, but today you see the Singaporean government thinking about putting the Singaporean dollar on the blockchain. They're working in things like that. So they're very, very forward thinking. And so for us, it was mainly the option between Hong Kong and Singapore. And since I'd been in Hong Kong for 4 years, I said, hey, you know what? Singapore would be great. Toby also liked Singapore better. So that's how we settled down in Singapore. Today, I mean, it was the perfect decision. We have a good relationship with MAS, which is like the central bank here. The Ethereum Foundation with Vitalik moved here, which was really important for us for relationships and connections. And I mean, Singapore really open. So back then it was more of a gut feeling. Today it was a very, very smart, rational decision.
Okay. So, and can you tell me, Julian, in what areas does TenX differentiate from the competition, such as BitPay, Bitwala, all those kind of things? Monaco.
So, I mean, there's some very small things that you see up front, and that's the front end, if you want to call it, and that's basically on the card side. First of all, if you deposit crypto into our card, that you can use it afterwards, it stays in crypto. So that's very important. So we don't change your Bitcoin or Ether into fiat. We leave it in this cryptocurrency. Then we don't charge you any fees when you use it. So there's no FX fees, no transaction fees. We give you as close to the perfect rate that's possible that we also get. So for you, there wouldn't be a better option to switch this currency into fiat if you would do it yourself through an exchange. We use best rates possible. I mean, it can fluctuate by 0.1% sometimes, but it's like negligible. All these other companies don't offer you these kind of rates, these kind of services. That's the front end, and that's very easy to see. That's easy to compare. The most powerful thing is the backend. We are building on a concept called Comit, which is a network of how to connect blockchains. And by doing that, we can just grab into one of these blockchains, but we have access to all the others. So we don't have to implement every blockchain ourselves. So we don't have to do Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, Ripple, Monero, and so on. We can just connect to a couple, and because we can connect to the others through the system, we can just include all the blockchains over time. Now, this is still, the card and everything is live, so that's all working, but the Comit thing is still in test phase. So right now, we're still connecting to the blockchain separately, but in the next 6 to 9 months, we're going to have it all. And that's where I think is really exciting. Right now, users already have multi-currency, multi-asset, and very, very few other cards. Honestly, I don't know any other card, but there might be one out there offers this to have multi-currency.
True, and how is it possible that you can differentiate in that way versus those other cards by keeping the transaction fees low and how do you say it, keeping the crypto at the card, let's say?
So that's a really good question. I think it is because we really did the groundwork. So when we started, it's now over 2 years ago. So on June 11th, so around 2 weeks ago, we had our 2-year anniversary. And we had a little barbecue here. And yes. So that was fun, right? We had some users here from Singapore who have been with us for a very long time. And I think it was this groundwork of not trying to go for a fast solution, of not trying to go and say, you know what, let's just buy a solution from someone and white label that. Let's not do this. We really did the groundwork, right? So we really built relationships with MasterCard. We really built a relationship with Visa. So this took really a long time. And it took us, I mean, from MasterCard, we had the top bosses from New York already here just talking to us what we are doing, right? And just so that they see, okay, how does the KYC look? How does the money laundering look for this, right? So we really we did the groundwork for all this. And I don't think any other company did this much groundwork. I think for most of them, they are not as passionate about crypto as we are. They are more large companies and they just look for plug and play solutions. And that's why they have to charge the fees. Where we really think long-term, and for us, this is a long-term play. We also, and I want to be very upfront, we don't believe the cards will stay. I think they will go away. And so we are not going to be relying on the cards. For us, the payment solution, it doesn't matter. It's really about paying with crypto. Right now, the card is only a facilitator because the merchant doesn't accept crypto. But just imagine in a couple of years' time, maybe more and more merchants accept the crypto. Then we just want to connect this. And you might own Dash and the merchant accepts Ethereum, and we want to have an immediate plug-and-play payment solution for this. And that's basically what we at TenX are all about. Just right now, the card is the facilitator of doing all that.
Yeah, it's intermediary, so it goes away in the future. True. So at the moment, Bitcoins are available now. I think it was Bitcoin, Dash, and some ERC20 tokens. And what else is on the short term on the roadmap?
I mean, so that's really a large branch already. So we have Bitcoin we've had all the time already with 1BIT. Yeah. We have Ethereum. It depends on when you're watching this video. Right now, we have Ethereum and Dash and ERC20 only for selected users if you request for it. And the reason is very simple, that we are having the token sale right now. We're having this international rollout of a lot of things. So if we suddenly have 2 or 3 things together, our team of 12 people suddenly can't handle it anymore. So we go one step at a time there. You can request to have Ethereum, you can request to have Dash, you can have request to have ERC20 tokens. The full update so that everyone just has it standard is probably going to go out the next week or maybe the first week of July. Okay. So then you can have you can order the card, it's going to stay the same. You can order the app and everything, you can have the app. But so then you have literally everything. And then I would say after we have really a lot of the ERC20 tokens running and working working with the liquidity side of it, also have no problems with Dash, maybe have some extra functionalities there, also with Ethereum, I think we're on a really good start. We've been looking into new currencies already. We're going to, first of all, we look at strategic partnerships. That's really important for us. For example, co-branding solutions. We have, for example, DGX. They do gold on the blockchain, and they're also here in Singapore. We know these guys really well, obviously. So they're going to do a co-branding solution with us where they're going to have a special golden card for their users. So these are strategic partnerships that we're looking for because that's a win-win, right? It's cool for their users and it helps us because it really gets our users out. Yeah. And I think in the next stage, we're going to look at other currencies. There's a lot on our radar. We get contacted by a lot, obviously. I don't want to mention right now which one we're going to go with because this might not be the right one, right? Yeah. We have more on the radar, but for us, I think it's more important right now to get the solution we have, which is a fantastic solution, and really make this flawless, have no bugs, and then we would expand into other currencies. We're going to look a lot at the market caps, right? Obviously, we want to have larger market caps first and not start with number 90 if we haven't even integrated 1 through 10 yet. Yeah. Okay, good. So if I understand correctly, it's also possible to, let's say, withdraw fiat on an ATM machine. Is that correct? Yeah, you can. Yeah. For that, we charge $2.75. Okay. Plus, if your bank there charges something, this is not in our influence. If the bank charges something, then this is on top. But we charge $2.75 US if you want to withdraw fiat from an ATM. But does it then matter what type of ATM machine you use? Or is it, let's say, only possible with particular suppliers such as MasterCard, Maestro, Visa, or whatever? Or is it just feasible at any ATM machine? I have not heard that there's a specific type that excludes, for example, the Visa card. It should work with, especially in Europe, it should work with most. I think in China, you might have some challenges. When I travel to China, it's always a bit iffy sometimes to withdraw money there because not all the ATM machines accept typical credit cards. They have Chinese solutions. But I think, let's say in the Western countries, America, Europe, I would say 99% of the ATM should be fine. Okay, and what was the other question that I wanted to ask with regards to this? Maybe limits? Okay, thanks. Yes, what is the maximum limit? That was the question indeed. What is the maximum limit? Limit question is a question we get a lot in our Slack and everywhere. So if you don't want to do any KYC, so that means all we need from you is you need to fill in something. So you need to fill in your name, your date of birth, and your address. You can fake that if you want. I wouldn't recommend you doing it. You could. We don't check that. There's no requirement from our side. We just make you fill something in. Then if you fill something in, you have a lifetime spending of $2,000 or a withdrawal limit of $1,000. So you can do this without any KYC. You can do this without anything. And that's for us. So this little bit of a trial thing. Hey, you can get this. You pay $15 for the card, and then you're ready to go. And you can withdraw your crypto or you can spend your crypto. But if you really want to use it, so that means that you have almost no limits. And with almost, I mean you have like a $2,000 a day spending limit. You have a $1,000 a day withdrawal limit. That's really a lot. then you need to give us your passport and your address proof. Right now, we are handling it still ourselves, the KYC, but we are outsourcing that right now. We just didn't have the funds to do it as yet. One of the reasons why we are doing the token sale is to have funds, for example, to outsource the entire KYC to a third-party provider who does this in a very professional and safe manner, so that your customer data is totally secure. It's industry standard kind of style. Like if you know in Europe, there are a lot of online banks. I don't know if you know, for example, a company called N26. It's a banking company from Germany. They outsource all this. We would use a similar provider.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that brings us to let's say the token sale topic. So you had a pre-sale of 100K, which you've collected actually of Ethereum. So what are the plans with the 100K in terms of budget deviation? Is partly going to be for the outsourcing?
Of course. So no, mainly it's going to be for the team. We really need to grow. So right now we are 12 people. All of us are on a very, very tight budget so far. We have not, I mean, for example, we all live together in one house. We have the office in the same place.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah. So in the vlogs, you can see all these things. So we don't intend to change this necessarily, that now everyone is going to go crazy. Actually, the exact opposite. None of us grew up that way. For us, it's really more, we need more people. We are 12 people. Everyone is at the maximum capacity. By the end of the year, we want to be 50 people, and we need to hire really, really, really great people. We need to hire great people for marketing. We need to hire great people for development. We need really great Java developer, C++ developers. We need very, very like architectural kind of people as well, right? So, and these people are going to be expensive. And if you hire B-type people, then you're going to get a P-type product. We need A-type people, right? I was just in San Francisco. I met with people from Berkeley University. I met with people from Lightning Network. And I mean, these are top A people, right? But you talk to them and you realize, if you pay them $5,000 a month, they don't care. They are not going to come for that. They need to, they get this all over the world, right? And they're the best of the best. So if you want to compete with the Facebooks and the Googles and all these top kind of tech companies, you need to offer, you don't necessarily need to offer the same kind of salary because there's different incentives in being in a startup. But if you don't get close, they don't even consider you. And I think that many companies in the blockchain space have been lacking that. They, if they had raised funds, they used it primarily to get the product out. Now we have a product. So for us, it's more about hiring these top talent people so that we scale our product really well. So we really decentralize everything so we can connect these blockchains. And so let's talk about the first 100,000 Ether. They are going to be mainly for the next 3 to 4 years to have a guaranteed budget for 200 to 250 people and really, really build something massive. Yes.
That's big. That's big. So what is the expectation then in terms of FTE growth for this year? If
with the FTD, what do you mean? Like customers growth?
No. Sorry. In terms of growth of personnel or developers
so
in
we
this
had 12 people. Yeah. Our dream would be to get to 50.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So around 30 to 40 people. Like, I don't know, if you're watching this and you are hardworking, highly motivated, and you want to be in a great startup and we are well funded. So, hey, shoot us a message.
do you need a digital marketing automation specialist?
We definitely need a digital marketing automation specialist. So, yes.
Oh, okay. Then we might need to talk that, Julian.
We should.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, in terms of expansions to other countries and getting government endorsements and all that, because we are apparently playing in a difficult space right now with cryptocurrencies. How are you going to achieve that? Do you also have legal parties that you are partnering with?
So right now we are working with the largest, or one of the large, I don't think there's the largest, but there's one of the largest security firms here in Singapore. They're called Dentons. Mm-hmm. They are very, very high end. We do this because we see from that's just what we see. And we have been really, really careful with this. We're going to see a huge backlash to many ICOs, token sales, who have not structured their token sale properly.
Yeah.
They're going to have massive problems with security law, with security fraud. Yeah. And so one of the things that we wanted to be really sure that we have experts there on board. So here we're working with them, especially for the token sale. also for the card distribution. So for example, we were advised not to send our cards to certain areas. One of the areas we're not sending to is, for example, the US. We're not sending to India. We're not sending to US sanctioned countries. There's a couple of countries in the world that the US has political problems with. So we're not sending to them, right?
Yeah.
These are very small things. We are planning on hiring 1 or 2 lawyers in-house to really have experts in that field in-house. That's, for example, part of the 50 people that are going to help us, especially on the legal side for this. Working with governments, so we have tried to work with some governments. We have very good relationship, for example, very interesting with the Indian government. They invited us to help them with the land registry on the blockchain. Obviously, we have a good relationship here with the Singaporean government. They like what we do. They see very well what we do. We have been in governmental funded incubators here, so that's going really well. I still think, though, that it's probably going to take the entire ecosystem and the entire blockchain system to have better relationships with governments, right? Yeah. And I see this always with a two-sided sword, kind of. I see the relationships, maybe that's how the US is going, and I'm a bit scared of this as well, where they say, hey, you know what, if you want to move to the US or come into the US, you need to tell us your Bitcoin addresses. We need to see how much Bitcoin you have in your accounts. Yeah. Right? It's ridiculous. Yeah. And then I see the other side. I see the side where I say, okay, it's probably going to take some regulation. It's just, again, it's like the internet, right? Yeah. If you have a totally uncensored and totally everyone can see anything kind of internet, well, then you have kids seeing some really crazy things on the internet that they shouldn't see. Yeah. And if you have censored the entire thing, then where's the right to speech, right? And all these things. And I see the same with kind of Bitcoin. I understand Bitcoin or cryptocurrency shouldn't be there to fund terrorism and to fund child pornography and all these things. So I understand it's going to take some kind of regulation, but if you overdo it, it's going to go the total wrong way. And so I always see this as a very, very, as a two-sided sword.
Okay, but looking at it from that perspective, is it then also an option to have Monero on your on your card?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. So that's one of the currencies we have been talking a lot to right now. Yeah. They have been in touch with us. It's a currency we didn't want to lead with for reasons that, especially with the extreme anonymity and everything. For example, Dash was also one of the reasons why it took us back a bit. So we were supposed to launch internationally 2.5 months ago, end of April. And one of the reasons we are May, June, 2 months late for the international rollout that happened this week was Dash, because we had Dash in and suddenly regulators or the debit card issuers came and said, hey, listen, guys, you suddenly have this anonymous currency and you didn't tell us about that initially. We need to retest everything. We need to recheck everything. And let's see. I mean, it's always we feel we're on the really safe side now because we have redone a lot of the contract. We make sure that everything is super safe. But now there's a lot more on stake. So if we do any additional add-ons, then we would be extra careful and extra double check, right? Because one thing we wouldn't want is that something goes on hold just because we're adding a new currency. Yeah,
understood. Okay, so what is the added value, Julian, of holding a token for doing the token sale? Can you tell us more about it? For what use can it be used?
Definitely. So the way you get the token after the token sale, so let's talk after the token sale, is either you buy it on an exchange or, and that's a very cool thing, it's like a loyalty program. If you use our TenX card, of 0.1% of what you spend, we use and buy tokens on the open market and give it back to you. So just a simple example, if you spend 1 Ether with the card, then 0.1% of that Ether we use and buy the pay token on an exchange for you, and we give it to you into your TenX app. So it's like a loyalty program. Oh, nice. You can use that pay then afterwards, either to sell it on an exchange, or you can swap it in the app, or you can use it also to spend if you want to. What the pay token does for you if you hold it, and obviously we would love you to hold it, is that it's going to pay you a revenue share of the entire spending. 0.5% of the entire spending will be paid out to each individual token as a split. So see it as a cake. The 0.5% is like a cake, and every pay token is a piece in this cake. So the more pay tokens you hold, the more of this cake you're getting of the 0.5%. Initially, this revenue share will be on a daily basis. It will be in a smart contract, and we'll send it to you, or we'll let you grab it if you want. over the longer period. So let's say within a month or two, we want it on an hourly basis. And so the really cool thing is, so let's say you hold these pay tokens, and let's say you hold them in the TenX wallet. You could hold them in any Ethereum wallet, but let's say it's in a TenX wallet. Every hour, we're going to send you a quick push message. Hey, you just received, I mean, it's a small amount, right? Yeah. But it's going to go every hour. And so that's a really, really cool kickback.
Cool. Okay, but that brings me to the next question, Julian, because we saw some issues with the status ICO earlier this week, and we have seen that that the Ethereum network was not holding out. But if you are now saying to me, like, if you are going to do on an hourly base, and I expect that this is going to be a big thing, paying with debit card, and especially with this loyalty program, assuming that it's going to grow big in terms of volume, don't you foresee any issues right now with the capacity or scalability issues that Ethereum has in terms of the amount of transactions and Ethereum that people have at the moment?
I mean, it's a very valid point, right? Yeah. The way we solve this, let's say short term, is because we're going to use a smart contract, which means we don't necessarily send the pay token every hour. We just send the information. And if you actually want to get it, you pull it. So it doesn't mean that you need to get it every hour. Yeah. That's very important. Yeah. Long term, we're solving this with this network in the background called Comit, COMIT. And this network basically is off-chain smart contracts where we don't necessarily need to settle every transaction on Ethereum. So we can settle it off-chain, which is going to be very interesting from a sending and cost perspective, because the cost is going to be literally nil and it's going to be instant, and it doesn't need to settle on the blockchain all the time. So then we can go away a bit and don't have to clog the system.
Okay. And then one of the other questions that I have, also with regards to the status ICO and the drama that it gave right there, how are you guys going to ensure that the demand is being funneled in the right way so that the network will not crash?
I mean, that's a really good question. I wish I would have the perfect answer for it, right? I wish I could sit here and say, this is what we're going to do so that I can guarantee that things are not going to get out of hand. Okay. I expect a huge demand. I think, and I know why, because we have a product, it's running, it's live. We're one of the very, very few ICOs who don't raise on a pure idea, on a pure concept. Yeah. We have proven that we can do it. We show that what we want now is just to scale this, right? So we see this more as an actual round rather than just raising on a pure concept. So we expect a lot of demand. A couple of things we've done is, so you mentioned we did the pre-sale. The pre-sale of 100,000 is supposed to take some of the whales off the table. So yes, we are expecting that some people will come in and pay huge amounts, but a lot of the large amounts should be off the table. That's just what we expect. Yeah. One thing we're also doing is we're not revealing our addresses until 15 minutes before. So what this does is, it doesn't, I mean, in the status ICO, and this was just insane. Yeah. First of all, they had the wrong time on their website. Yeah. So the block numbers and the time was just not connected. And so people started spamming the network 2 hours before. So that caused this massive delay afterwards, which kind of like rolled over, and then this started to get crazy. So we don't reveal the addresses until 15 minutes before. So that's also important. If you see the address on a website 15 minutes before, it's a scam. It's not our website. You're on a wrong website. So be sure that you're on the right website. TenX.tech is the right website. So we only reveal that there. Second of all, and this is, again, a two-sided thing, we don't have any limits. We don't do any minimums, any maximums. We have a hard cap. We don't do sigmoidal kind of ceilings that people have to break through. So we have 100,000 left over, 200,000 total, 100,000 in the pre-sale, 100,000 left over. We don't do any rules, any regulations. It's first come, first serve. Yeah. We hope we have a lot of the whales off the table. Yeah. And so we hope it's going to go, I mean, we hope it goes quick. We don't want it to be instant, but quick. And then it's over. And then we're going to tell people, stop sending, it's over. Yeah. There's no way you can get in anymore, right? So it's going to, I'm pretty sure it's going to cause some kind of traffic spike for, let's say, 15 or 30 minutes. Maybe an hour, but it shouldn't be for days, just like status was. Yeah. That's what is our intention.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Let's see. Let's see tomorrow how it all worked out. Yeah. I mean, we've planned for a lot of things. We've tried to solve a lot of things, be prepared. You never know until it's done.
True. Okay, so So for the people new in this area, can you only buy with Ethereum for the token sale, or are there other options?
So one of the things we've done, and this was also really important to us, we want to be very inclusive. That's our general motto. So we're not against anyone else. We would love to work together. That also means other card providers. That means other companies, other currencies. And that was one of the reasons why we actually include really a lot of tokens. So we do Bitcoin, we do Litecoin, we do Dash, we do Ethereum, we do a lot of ERC20 tokens. For example, we also accept ERC20 tokens of Token Card, even though they are somewhat of a competitor, right? We accept their tokens. We just believe that in this industry right now, it's a 1 + 1 is 3. So if we can work together and really kind of combine forces, that's always great, right? And everyone is going to have strengths, and so that's the reason. So we offer a lot of different currencies. If you go to tokensale.10x.tech, you see all our tokens that we support. It's over 20, you will find yours that is going to fit you.
Perfect. Okay, Julian, I'm out of questions, to be honest. Are there any final words that you would like to share with my viewers in terms how you see this in the future, growing, moving forward? Anything?
I mean, obviously, we would love to have you as a user of our card. Download our app at the moment only on Android. From end of July, beginning of August, also for iOS. If you have Android, great, try it out. Try out the card. If you get the tokens during the token sale, awesome. Hey, if you don't get them, no worries. We are working already with exchanges so that we're gonna list them ASAP on exchanges. Get your tokens on the exchange. Get something from the revenue share. Get some of the profit. And grow this as a family. We always call us the 10x family. We really see us as a family. And be part of that. Be part of the revolution of this energy. That would be my wish and my ask.
Very well said, Julian. Okay, so I want to thank you very much, Julian, for your time, and I wish you a lot of luck tomorrow with the token sale. Hope it will be very successful and will be sold out pretty fast, but not too fast so I can also get in. Yes, so thank you very much, and speak to each other later, and hope we will see each other once face to face somewhere.
Thanks, Levi. Hey, it was a pleasure. And thanks everyone for watching. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. See you. So, I hope this interview clarified what TenX is all about and what the added value TenX will bring in the real world. And for you to have enough ammunition to decide whether you should participate or not in the token sale. For me, reason to participate in a token sale, and I'm not saying that you should follow me, is that I invest in tokens which already have a working product. Hence I invested in Mobile Go and Civic as an example. So that's it for today. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.